Hi, this is Mr. Ryan, and this is lesson 6.3 in the summer edition of the ninth grade math class. And we're almost done. Just a couple more lessons, and we'll be at the end of this course. What we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to continue with what we were learning in the last two lessons, which is about statistics and data. In the last two lessons, we looked at just one set of data, which we call univariate data, uni meaning one. Now we're going to look at what's called bivariate data, and that's where you have two different variables with two data sets. Well, really, it's one data set over two variables, and let's see what that looks like. All right, so what we have here is now, instead of just a set of x, a data set identified as x sub I, we now have two. We have x sub I and y sub I. Both of them have the same number of elements in them, and the elements go together with each other. So the first element of the x set goes with the first element of the y set. And so we have what we have here is coordinates, okay, which we can plot on a graph, okay? And so what we do oftentimes do with bivariate data is we do plot it on a coordinate plane. So for example, we take the first term from the x, 1, and the second term from y, 10, and we plot the point 1, 10. And so if we did that, we would go to 1 and then up to 10, and sure enough, there's a point right there. So we plot this point here, then we plot the point 4, 10, so that's 4, 10 right here, then 6, 3, so over to 6, then up to 3 right here, and then 7, 8, so we go to 7, and then up to 8 right here, and then 8, 10, here's 8, and then up to 10. So this is five different, this is five different points, and we plot them on a coordinate plane. When we do that, when we plot bivariate data, we call it a scatter plot. Scatter plot. Okay. Now, there's a really good reason why we call it a scatter plot. It's because these points look scattered, right? They look scattered all over well, not over, there's only 5 of them. But when you have about, let's say, 50 points all plotted all over here, they look scattered all over the coordinate plane, and that's why we call it a scatter plot, okay? And what we can do with a scatter plot is we can identify what is called a regression line. It's a straight line that runs through all of the points, and it is a line that kind of tries to represent all of the points. It tries to represent the bivariate data, okay? Now that's a lot for you. Let me just tell you what I want you to do in this lesson. There is a very important point on the regression line, which is basically the point x bar, y bar. Let me explain this. So sometimes, remember how we use the term mu is the mean of the data, right? Is the mean of a set, right? Well, sometimes instead of using the letter mu, we take the letter of the set, like x, and we put a line over it, and we call that x bar. Okay, so we say x bar. Okay, so x bar is sometimes used, let's see, is called the mean. Oops, the mean. And so now, and if we want the mean of the x set, we do x bar, and then we can do the same thing for the y set and call it y bar. Okay, so this is the mean of x sub I, whereas y bar is the mean of y sub I, okay? And so here's what we do. What we do is we identify the mean. This is what you're going to do, so just pay attention. You're going to identify the mean of the x set. Then you're going to identify the mean of the y set. And then what you're then going to do is you're going to identify a coordinate, and that coordinate is going to be x bar, comma, y bar. And this is going to be the mean point of the regression line. So once we get the mean of the x, that becomes the x coordinate. and we find the mean of the y, that becomes the y coordinate, and then we plot that point, okay? That's basically all we're doing today in lesson 6.3. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. Let me erase a bunch of stuff here, and let's say that we're going to say that we actually don't know any of this stuff. All we're really going to be given is this. Okay, I'm going to give you the scatter plot, and then I'm going to have you. I'm going to give you this over here, just kind of this table right here. I wonder if I can move this table a little bit closer. Can I select? Let's see if I can select. Ah, I can. Look at that. I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to move it a little bit closer here. That should do. All right. And then I'm going to move this over here. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to identify the coordinates. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's I'm missing a line here. So let's do this. I'm going to get rid of this and this. I'm going to make one extra space here. All right, there it is. And then here, we're going to make this the x. We're going to make this the y. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put one pair here. That's 1. A pair here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to find the mean of these 5 numbers, and that's going to be the x bar. Then we're going to find the mean of these 5 numbers, and that's going to be the y bar. And then we're going to plot the point x bar, y bar. Okay. So this point right here we've already identified is 1, 10. So this is what you're actually going to be doing on the lesson sheet. Okay. So we're going to identify the points 1, 10. Okay. Then this point right here is 4, 10. Okay. So 4, 10. The next point here is 6, 3. 6, 3. Okay. Then this point right here is 7, 8. So 7, 8. Okay. And this last point right here is 8, 10. 8, 10. And so now we need to identify x bar, and x bar is going to be the sum from 1 up to 5 of all the x's, okay, divided by 5, okay? And so that's going to be 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 divided by 5, okay? And so 1 plus 4, that's 5, plus 6 is 11, plus 7 is 18, plus 8 is 26. And so this is going to be 26 divided by 5, which is 5.2. And so x bar is going to be 5.2. Okay? Now let's do the exact same thing for y. Okay. Let's see here, we're going to make this y bar, and we're going to change this to a y. There we go. So this is going to be y bar. The mean of y bar is going to be the sum of all the y sub i's divided by 5, which is going to be 10 plus 10 plus 3 plus 8 plus 10, all divided by 5. All right, so 10 plus 10, that's 20. Plus 3 is 23, plus 8 is 31, plus 10 is 41. So this is going to be 41 divided by 5, and 41 divided by 5 is 8.2. And so the y bar is going to be 8.2. So now that we've found the mean of the x and the mean of the y, our mean point, which is x bar comma y bar, okay, is the point 5.2 comma 8.2. So now that we've identified the mean point, we're now going to plot the mean point. So we're going to go to 5.2. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit past 5, maybe right about here, is 5.2. Okay? And then For the y, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a little bit past the 8, that is going to be 8.2. So this is about 8.2. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.2, and right about there is the mean point 5.2, comma 8.2. Okay? And that's all we're going to do in this lesson is I just want you to identify the 5 points, find the mean of the x coordinates, find the mean of the y coordinates, make those two means a point, and then plot that point. Okay? So let's try a few more examples. Okay, so here's another example. We're going to plot the mean point of the regression line. To find the mean point of the regression line, we have to identify the 5 points, and we have to identify the mean of x and the mean of y. Okay, so here we have this point 2, 7. So we're going to plot, we're going to say 2, 7. Then we have this point 3, 2. 3, 2. Then we have this point 5, 3. 5, 3. Then we have this point 9, 1. 9, 1. And we have this point 10, 7. 10, 7. Okay, I'm going to skip the sigma notation this time. So for the mean of y, or the mean of x, I'm sorry, we're going to do 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 9 plus 10 over, there's 5 points, so over 5. Okay, so 2 plus 3, that's 5, plus 5 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 10 is 29. So we have 29 divided by 5, which is equal to 5.8. Okay, so x bar is equal to 5.8. Okay, now let's do the y bar. Let's erase this stuff. And there we go. And so y bar is going to be equal to 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 7. Okay, divided by 5. And so 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13, plus 7 is 20. So y bar is going to be equal to 20 over 5, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. So y bar is 4, and therefore our mean point is going to be 5.8, comma 4. And now we're going to plot that point. 5.8, here's 5, here's 6. 5.8 is very close to 6, but it's still less than 6. Let's say it's right about there. There's about our 5.8. Then we're going to go up to 4. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that's our point right about here. We'll put a dot, and then we're going to label it 5.8, comma 4. That is our mean point. Okay. All right, let's try another example. Okay, here's another one. We've got this scatter plot here. We have 5 points. Let's identify the 5 points. This one looks like it's at 410. 410. This point right here looks like it's at 5.8. 5.8. And then we got 7. We've got 7.2, 7.7, and 7.10. So we've got 7.2, 7.7, and 7.10. Okay? And so now let's identify the mean of all the x's and the mean of all the y's. So x bar is going to be equal to 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 divided by 5. Okay? And so 4 plus 5, that's 9, plus 7 is 16, plus 7 is 23, plus 7 is 30. And so we have 30 divided by 5, which is 6. And so x bar is 6. Now let's identify the mean of all the y values, of all the y coordinates. Okay? All right, so y bar is going to be equal to 10 plus 8 plus 2 plus 7 plus 10 all over 5. Okay, which is going to be equal to 10 plus 8 is 18, plus 2 is 20, plus 7 is 27, plus 10 is 37. So we have 37 divided by 5, and that's going to be equal to, 5 goes into 37. I know it goes into 35 7 times, with 2 left over, and 2 divided by 5 is 0.4, so this is going to be 7.4. So y bar is 7.4, and so our mean point here for the regression line is going to be 6, 7.4. Okay, and so let's go ahead and plot that. 6 is right here, and then we'll go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 0.4 is almost 0.5, so we're going to go sort of almost halfway between 7 and 8. Okay, so it'll be probably right about here. Okay, and that is the 0.6, 7.4, and that is our mean point of the regression line. Now listen, you got to get really good at this, because I'm warning you in advance, lesson 6.4, you have to do this again. This is actually step 1 of what you're going to do. There's 2 steps in lesson 6.4. This is the first step. So be good at this by the time you get to lesson, by the time you're ready to start lesson 6.4, okay? Let's just do one more example. Okay, here's our last example. And once again, we have a scatter plot with 5 points. This is the point 4, 2. So we'll get 4, 2. This is the point 5, 6. So we're going to put 5, 6. This is the point 7, 2. 7, 2. This is the point 8, 1. 8, 1. And this is the point 10, 10. 10, 10. Okay? And to find the mean x bar of x, we'll do 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 divided by 5, which is going to be 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 7 is 16, plus 8 is 24, plus 10 is 34. So 34 divided by 5, and that is going to be 6.8. 6.8. Now let's identify y bar. Y bar is going to be 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 1 plus 10 divided by 5, which is going to be equal to 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, plus 10 is 21. Over 5, and 5 goes into 21, 4.2 times. And so our mean point for the regression line is going to be 6.8, 4.2. All right? 6.8 is right about here, right before 7. 4.2 is just above 4 right here. And so we're going to go to the 6.8. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a little more is 4.2. And so I think the point is going to be right about there. And that is going to be 6.8, 4.2. And that's everything that I want you to be able to do in lesson 6.3. There are several of them. I want you to, I think probably about 8 of them. By the time you do about 8 of these, you should be really good at it, okay? So get them all done, and then after you do that, come back to 6.4, and we'll finish up the class.